All right, welcome back. We are now moving on to 2-point perspective. Yay. Okay, so this one is great for outdoor scenes when you're looking at something kind of corner on. I've seen a lot of like city street scenes done in 2-point. So let's get to it. I'm gonna do a really simple one. So I'm gonna put the corner of my building kind of right in the center here, but you don't have to. If you get that down and you're like, got it, 2-point locked in, then you can do, corners over here. So this is like a relatively short distance, and you're looking down a longer street here. Play around with it. It's pretty fun once you get the hang of it. But for right now, I'm just going to show you 2-point perspective right in the middle. Okay, so as you can see, I've drawn my horizon line and I've done 2 little X's here. These are my vanishing points. So this is going to be kind of extreme 2-point perspective because they're on the paper, they're pretty close, so things are going to be a little bit squished. A trick I've seen people do is with tape, putting a piece of tape down and then taping down your paper on top of it. So on the tape, so like all the way over here, you would draw your vanishing point and you would use that with your ruler to make a less extreme perspective. You don't have to. It's fun to do. I've also seen people do pins. If you have like a board that you're drawing on, you can put pins in it and do like an elastic band between them so that you can move it up and down and draw your lines along that. Crazy. I've seen lots of cool things done to get the perfect 2-point perspective. But for right now, I am just going to do the old-fashioned way. Okay, so I am going to draw an arbitrary line right down the middle there. So this is going to be the corner of our building. So on this side, I'm going to connect it to our vanishing point. Like so. And the bottom. Like so. And this line does not have to be kind of equal. So this is pretty equal. There's a little bit more on top than there is on the bottom of the horizon line. That's fine. You can put the end of the line wherever you want it to be. And it works either way, so makes it kind of fun. Then on this side, I'm going to connect things up to this vanishing point. Bam. Whoops. Okay. So if this was one big long building, like, you would just shade in one side and you'd be good to go. But I'm going to put in the corners of my building. And again, these are kind of one of those arbitrary, your choice sort of things, because not all buildings are shaped the same. You could have a square one, you could have a rectangular one. I have a kind of rectangular one right now. And to clean it up, I'm going to go back. Sorry, I keep bumping my camera. Hasn't fallen off the desk yet. There we go. Okay, there we go. And so we have our building right like there. Need more eraser. It's a sad indictment of my life right there. Need more eraser. Okay, cool. So now we are going to, let's put some windows on our building. That's legit, right? Every building needs windows. So we're kind of going to line up where we want them to start along this line and line that up with our vanishing point. There we go. And then same thing, we're going to choose the bottom of them, not quite at the horizon line, so I still have a good little tilt there. And there you go. And then again, this line here is going to be parallel to horizon line. Okay, cool. So now, so that's kind of the general block of our windows. If I wanted to have 2 separate windows, let's see, let's do this one here. Let's do 3. So we're going to line up vanishing point to the midway point of these windows, and you can measure it. I'm gonna guess it. Just living on the edge. Okay, so now I'm going to pick arbitrarily where I kind of want that first window to end. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and, if you remember this is how we drew tiles before. So I'm going from this corner, crossing it through that center point, and where my ruler hits that is our next window. Let's make sure we're parallel there. Okay. And then the same thing for the next one there. This corner through that center intersection. Boom. I think I said 3 windows. Never mind, it's gonna be 4. It's 4 windows. Okay. So, then I'm going to get rid of that center line. Well, actually, no, I'll leave that because I think they'll have a frame on there. So I'm going to add parallel line here just to give some thickness to that. And then another one here. And I'm still going to match any line going this way up to my vanishing point because I want it to all be in perspective. Okay, cool. So those are kind of like factory windows right there. You can dress them up. Again, you can make, kind of give them some dimension here. So just as long as you're measured up to your vanishing point, everything should look pretty good. Okay. Then maybe you kind of see the inside there. And since it's above the horizon line, we're not going to see anything on the bottom. No ledge on the bottom because it's an interior ledge, so it's hidden by the bottom of the windows there. So there are your windows, and you use the exact same method here to do like a banner. So I'm gonna make a banner, advertising a sale, right? Okay. Again, line it up on this side because it's on this side of the corner. Just gonna freehand the end there. You can live dangerously, it's fine. And there we go. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is, since I want it to say sale, that's 4 letters, that's an even number, so that makes it easy. I'm going to find the center. This is another method you could use for dividing up shapes in perspective. So there's a center there. Get my paper square. There's center 2. I can erase those so I don't get confused. Okay, so then I just need to find the center of this one. Make sure you're lined up with the corners. Okay. There's that one. Same thing here. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to draw in the letters, and it's going to be big blocky letters, so it's, you know, kind of easy to scale it. It's going to say sale. So kind of take up the squares you've given yourself here. So it really kind of accentuates the perspective. Soup's professional. Okay. And there we go. So then you have your banner that says sale. Maybe there's a wrinkle in it because it's been there a while. And there you go. Okay. So that's kind of how you can space things on your building. I find it a little creepy. We haven't given it a door, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so then I'll show you, if you're going to draw something that kind of starts along the horizon line, that is fine. It's just going to have a straight line, and that's okay. So then all you have to do is just draw these straight lines down to the bottom here, and the door is going to be received a little bit. There we go. And it's going to have a little window on it to make it super welcoming. There you go. And then the top of the window is going to be almost to the horizon line, but not quite, so still use your ruler for that one. And there we go. And then for that middle bar, I'm going to do that. Great. And then our little doorknob. Cool. Let's give it another window. So that's going to be along that horizon line again. But the bottom will again be in perspective. So there's our little shop window. Okay, so here's an interesting one. Here's an interior line that is kind of headed in that direction, like, you know, the line is headed there. So it's actually still going to line up with this vanishing point over here. So you see it's an interior line. Whoops. Corner to corner. There we go. Mistake never happened. So that's how you get a line that would be crossing one of these lines here. If you want to be super legit about all of it, just use your ruler for everything. There we go. So there's that interior ledge there. And surprise, it's a hat shop, I guess. A really industrial looking hat shop. All right. You draw your hats in there. Fancy pillbox hat. There we go. Okay. So that is essentially 2-point perspective. And as you add things like, if you want to add, say, a chimney on this side, let's just do that. The top of it would still be matched up with our line right here. And then this side would be lined up with our perspective, with our vanishing point right here. And there you go. Okay. And then if you want to do like bricks on the chimney, same thing. You would just, you know, kind of go to the perspective line, or the vanishing point, sorry. I am going to eyeball it because at a certain point, you can see, I'm turning my paper and I really shouldn't do that. At a certain point, you can kind of start to see where things go. Right, there we go. And you can eyeball it, you know, you can make sure that, okay, this line just has to be pretty much parallel to this line here. You can eyeball it and it'll still look fine. If you're not sure, go ahead and use your ruler for everything. It's kind of fun. So again, 2-point perspective. You could add other buildings. You could add a sidewalk here, all in 2-point perspective. And then the same way that you would add tiles to a floor, you could add lines to a sidewalk. Things receding into the background, you would do that with that point there on your 1-point perspective. You would just make sure that the crossing lines, instead of going obviously along the horizon line, would be matched up with that other vanishing point over there. So 2-point perspective, real quick, I'm going to show you 3-point perspective. It's going to be real quick because I'm not going to do a whole scene. I'm just going to draw a cube, a cube in 3-point perspective. And 3-point perspective is really cool, and I really like it because it introduces scale, right? So you can really start to see like comparative sizes in 3-point perspective. Let's see, I'm going to go do my vanishing points over there. Okay, so you have 1, 2, and then you're going to have a third one way up in the sky there. Okay, so instead of drawing parallel or perpendicular lines to start with, you're going to draw lines that connect to this point here. So things are going to start to look like kind of a triangle. And I'm going to draw one right in the middle because we'll sort of do a combination of all the styles. Okay, so you've drawn your lines there. So this is the corner and the two sides, right? And I want the top of my building, let's see, to be right there. So I'm going to connect the top of my building to that vanishing point there, and the top to this vanishing point here. And we're going to just darken those lines up so you can see what I'm talking about. And let's see, we're going to do the bottom of the building right there. So it's really going to flatten out here, but it's not quite flat. Okay. So you kind of see how that's looking. It's still going to be you know, a cube shape in your mind. Like, you understand that it's a cube shape, but you see that it's tall, is like reaching up into the stratosphere there. So if you want to draw like little trees down here, see, it's already kind of looking like, oh, this is a big thing. Maybe a little person being like, wow, big building, you know, stuff like that. So that is how you do 3-point perspective. There is also 4- and 5-point perspective. If you kind of really get these nailed down and you're having fun, feel free to look those up and play around with it, because it's all very mathematical. It's all pretty easy to figure out with, you know, a ruler, protractor maybe, and it really kind of expands what you can draw, and it's super fun. So I hope this lesson has not been too confusing. I know I covered a lot and I've talked a lot, and I'm ready to go get a drink of water. So please let me know how this is, if it was helpful, and if you did like this video, please subscribe to the Westland Public Library YouTube channel and click the bell for updates. I'll be doing more drawing classes every Sunday, and we have lots of cool stuff during the week. So hope to see you around soon. Thanks. Bye.